I'm Mishima Yuki, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast, home of the second biggest group of Phantom Thieves ever. The first being me. Keck.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. To my side are my noble and hairy are Taylor Hoyt.
What up?
Maddie Lynn.
Hello.
And joining us again is Ben Moore.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually stealth eating because I haven't had lunch today, so...
Don't worry about that.
What's up?
Don't worry.
We definitely couldn't detect it at all, so
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
You're
nice.
being a very
That's my
good
goal.
ninja right now.
Sneaky eater.
So, Taylor,
So Nick,
there's been a lot of news. I have been busy this week, so I don't really remember it. Can you please go on and...
so the JRPG news train is slowing down. You know, it hasn't been super crazy like the last couple of weeks, but there's a few things that are notable that I wanted to bring up. The first is the next Atelier game got announced, and it's basically the Madden of JRPGs. They come out like every year, and it's like clockwork. You can just expect it. But this one's called Atelier Liddy and Sawyer, Alchemists of the Mysterious Paintings. And this one looks interesting because it's not like the normal game where you just go around and do alchemy stuff, but it's almost like Mario 64 where you like go into paintings and you go into these like different worlds or something.
Yeah, they're changing it up.
Yeah. Come to PS4, Vita, and Switch.
That's what I was about to say. It's on the Switch now.
On the Switch. They need to drop that Vita. Not really, but
I
as long as it's on Switch.
need a Switch.
Ben, do you have any experience with the Atelier series? Because I know Maddie and Nick really do not.
Almost none, really. I've dabbled with a couple of them, and I've enjoyed the very, very, very tiny bit that I've played. But, yeah, I'm not knowledgeable about them at all. They seem interesting, but kind of as you mentioned, with it being the Madden of JRPGs, it's always been a little overwhelming to me. And I'm sure some like pretty solid research would clear that up, but sometimes a new one comes out and I'm like, wait, which trilogy are we in now? And so I just need to figure out like the best place to start and really hunker down with that series.
Yeah, they need to like slow down and like maybe improve it because they've been coming out like almost once a year since like the beginning of the PS3 era. Like I remember the one that got me started was Atelier Rorona.
Yeah, that's the one that I was like, it's too bright. Everything's so shiny.
Yeah, and then they sort of remade it with like not chibi graphics, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't. They haven't really said much about this, but it's on Switch. Maybe I'll get it because I haven't got one in like 3 or 4 games.
I have Sophie right there, and I've never opened it.
There you go. Got to play it, Nick. Got to get on the Atelier hype train, yo.
There's too much games to play.
You know what was really funny? I was reading an article about this series this week, and the guy that designed the characters for the first trilogy on PS3, he said he ran out of character design ideas after the 3rd game, and so he stopped working on this series. I'm like, there's only so many ways you can draw cute girls in frilly dresses, I guess. So
it's a different artist?
yeah, I guess so. I think they've had each trilogy has had their own character designer. If I read that article right or something. Somebody's probably going to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, but
You are wrong.
You are wrong.
I'm always wrong.
You're also always on drugs.
That's very true. So anyway, there's that. I was very excited about this next piece of news. There was 3 editions of Ni no Kuni 2 announced.
Oh, yeah.
So there was the basic day 1 edition, and gosh, that box art. First off, I gotta say that box art is just stunning. Looks like a Studio Ghibli movie poster. Have you guys seen it yet?
The box art?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really nice.
Okay.
They're overlooking that like the kingdom, and they're just standing on that hill. It's like
And the dragons flying overhead.
It's like, this looks
But
good.
is there good water?
I mean, probably. It's level 5. It's Ni no Kuni. It's probably gonna have great water. So let me see here. The standard edition just comes with some weapons, whatever. The premium edition. See, I'm having a hard time justifying wanting to buy these because like I don't know what. So there's this thing they're calling a 3D papercraft kit, and they're not really showing what it is. And I'm like, is that like origami? Like I don't know what papercraft is exactly.
I think this was a Star Fox thing where you could get like a papercraft Arwing.
Oh, and you like fold it together sort of
Yeah.
thing? Yeah, for an extra $20, it's not really worth it. And then the infamous collector's edition thing they do is the music collection CDs, where it's not the whole thing. It's just like a few select tracks. It's like, either give us the whole thing or just don't give it to me at all.
I bet you in Japan it's the full thing.
Oh, yeah, it always is in Japan. They always get like the best thing. I remember for the Dancing All Night special edition, they got the full soundtrack for, I think, no, maybe this was Persona 5.
That was Persona 5. They
Where
got the full soundtrack
3,
for 3,
4,
4, and 5.
yeah.
That's insane. My God, I would have paid for that for sure. And then it comes with a steel case, which I hate. I hate steel case. My OCD can't handle something on my shelf looking different.
Your cases look so good.
I have so many steel cases. I just noticed.
Let's see. So there's that. And then the collector's edition comes with that. Okay, let's see here. Comes with a mechanical rotating diorama, a plushie of the little familiar guy. I guess his name is Lofty. Making of Ni no Kuni Blu-ray and the season pass, as well as all the other stuff. That's $200.
A season pass. What's everyone's feelings on that?
Well, they haven't said. So this is what they've said about the season pass. Enjoy additional Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom gameplay content fit for a king. The contents of this DLC are under protection of the King's Royal Guard for now, but stay tuned for more. I hate when they do that. It's like, here's a season pass. We're not going to tell you what's in it. Like, why would I pay for that?
It's kind of like the Final Fantasy 15 season pass, where all the good DLC is not even in it.
What do you mean?
Like the Final Fantasy Online thing.
Oh, yeah, that's in that.
Was that part of it, though?
I think it was. I think it was part of the season pass.
I thought it was just like a free update or something like that.
I think for now, only people that had the season pass could get that Final Fantasy 15 thing.
Speaking of the online thing, Ben, what's your opinions on that?
No opinion on it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I have it downloaded on my PS4, but just haven't given it a go. Have any of you played it?
No, I don't think it. So, do you have the season pass for 15?
I'm not sure. I feel like that's something I should know. But like maybe they sent it over when they sent over 15.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I can look.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have to have the season pass to play it?
I think to do the test, I think you needed the season pass, but they're gonna release it, I think, for like cheap or free at some point later on.
Okay. Yes, I do have the pass.
Okay.
Yeah, with all of the Final Fantasy 15 DLC, it's basically just been like, that seems interesting, or at least want to give it a shot, and I just have been too busy with other games and things like that I really haven't done anything with 15 since I finished it.
It's been that kind of year, you know what I mean? You play one amazing game, and then another one comes out, it's like, can't go back.
Yeah, I'm super behind on all my DLC, like Zelda, Neo, Dark Souls, everything, really. Just sometimes Nier, I haven't played the DLC for that either, so.
Still, that Final Fantasy 15 online is such an enigma to me. I don't like. Where
Hey,
did that come from?
We all play as Noctis. It's fine.
No, you don't play as Noctis.
Well,
actually.
you make an avatar, but they have the
But
same
they're
power.
basically not. So you all play as Noctis.
Oh,
You have the warp ability, and then
I did my research, Nick.
yeah, there's like an offensive spell, and then there's a healing spell, and then you can warp around. But it looks pretty dope. It's like imagine Final Fantasy 15, but like you're just hunting monsters pretty much. It's like Monster Hunter with Final Fantasy combat.
sounds very very familiar. I think it starts with White and ends with Chronicles.
I'd like to think this is nothing like White Knight Chronicles, but then again, I haven't played it.
Definitely has better combat. I can tell you that.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like I've talked with you guys about White Knight Chronicles more than I've ever talked with anyone about White Knight Chronicles.
I think you're right. Yeah, I feel like it comes up every time you're on.
Yeah.
White Knight Chronicles.
The game that we'll never stop ragging on.
But if you just play it, you'll see so many familiar things when you play other games, like Xenoblade.
Yeah, it's got that MMO style combat from Xenoblade for sure. So anyway, any of you guys interested in any of those editions of Ni no Kuni outside of the standard?
Not really.
No. Yeah, not really.
Nope.
Yeah, I got the last collector's edition I bought was actually the original Ni no Kuni, and I only got it because it came with a really nice, I think it was an art book or something, but then it came with the Wizard's book, like a physical version of that. Because when you play the game, there's like an in-game version, but it was nice to have like a physical version because it references that a lot, where it's like, oh, look here, and it'll give you the answer to this password to get through a puzzle or something. So it's cool to have a physical version of that, but yeah, I definitely won't be getting it either, just because the standard edition has the best box art, and that's all I care about.
Wait.
I've really turned a corner on special editions. Not that I don't still have moments of weakness, because I totally do. I still get a couple every year or so, but I'm just like running out of space in my apartment. And even the games that like I really love and I was really excited about the collector's edition and I followed through on them, I kind of end up regretting, because it's like I get it and it's really exciting and it's cool, but then I don't have anywhere to put it and I don't really interact with anything outside of the game itself. So I don't know.
Taylor, so you're telling me you didn't buy the Persona 5 collector's edition because it was a steelbook?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the reasons, but the other was, like I've said before, like it wasn't the full soundtrack. I'm trying to think what else was in it. I would have liked to have the Morgana plushie. I do enjoy
also an
my.
art book.
Where is my Morgana plushie, actually?
Nick, you're terrible.
It's hiding. The rats took it.
No, it's right there.
It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, yeah.
He's hiding.
He's telling you to go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Persona, so there were some updates to Persona 3 and Persona 5 dancing, Moon, Star Night.
Or just say dancing and
Yeah.
we'll get it.
There's
So-
no female protagonist yet.
No, yes, it was funny. Somebody photoshopped a screenshot from the trailer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that in the game? And I think it was just a very clever Photoshop. But so there's going to be a PS4 version, and they said the PS4 version is going to run at 60 frames a second. There's not going to be a story mode, but they're going to replace it with something else. And they were very vague on what that was.
Yeah. And the only thing I heard through my digging was they said something like, we're going to explore the relationships between characters.
I wonder if they're going to have more duets or something, maybe. I don't know.
I mean...
They're going to have the multiverse.
I mean... No, that's the metaverse, sorry. Yeah. Technically, they're in the metaverse for some of it, but, you know.
But also, they're going to have... they've confirmed a few songs, but then they said they're going to have all new songs.
I know, which is kind of...
I don't know what to think of that, because
weird
the whole
to me.
point is to have remixes of the songs we know and love.
Yeah, like the new song, the theme song for Persona 4, Dancing All Night, I really like. I was like, wow, that's clever. They spinned off the Showing the Truth, the main song for Persona 4, and then they went to theirs. But like, if they're doing a bunch of new songs for the two different games, I'm gonna be like, that's not why I want this game though. I want to play to the songs I already know and love, and the remixes of those.
Those are going to be there.
Well, they've only confirmed 3 songs for each game.
There's going to be more than 3
And
songs.
I know.
I have a betcha there's going to be Persona 5 anime songs in the Persona 5 game.
Ooh, oh.
And probably the same thing with the P3 game.
Well, P3 had a movie. I don't know
But
if
there's
that...
probably music in it, right?
I mean, yeah, but most of it was the same. Because I watched it. I'm like you.
Same with the Persona 4 anime.
But yet,
Yeah.
overall, it seems like the focus is they wanted to make I don't know how they could possibly do this, but they want to make like the actual dancing gameplay. They wanted to have more animations, make it look even more colorful and crazy. And I'm like, it was almost too hard to look
colorful.
at as
Yeah.
it was. Maybe it was just because it was on Vita and it was a small screen, but like, I can't imagine them putting more elements in because it would just clutter the screen. So
I was watching Maddie play the other day, and I'm like, what is going on?
He was just staring at me and I was playing.
I was utterly confused. I didn't see anything moving on the screen except for like at the very end, and I see Maddie's fingers going...
well, you have
doing
that,
like 600 combo, and I'm like, what the heck is going on
I
here?
got it perfect.
Well, remember that invisible mode on like DDR where it fades before it gets to the cross?
Yeah.
I think that's what you were doing, right?
That-
The
was that
fade.
it?
Yeah, so I play on the max difficulty, and then I have a bunch of like the extra stuff that give you like more score and more money because
She's one of those people.
beat my high score. But also, I found the regular mode too easy. So I started adding stuff like the notes will go, like the note speed will waver, or the one you saw is the notes will disappear right before they hit. And then the notes go different directions than they usually do also. So I just look at it and I feel the beat, Nick.
She just
feel
feels
the
it.
beat. I feel it. I love it, and I go with the flow, and I get perfects almost every time.
That is really impressive.
Thank you.
It is super impressive.
Nick was
I was
like,
like, you have a very useless talent.
those are the exact words he said to
love
me.
it.
Yeah, he's like, you should plug into the PS3. We should try and record you because that's ridiculous. I'm like, it's all right. Hence why I can't wait for these next 2 games because I'm gonna absolutely destroy them.
It's going to change something, and it's going to throw off your rhythm.
No, it's not.
Ben, what's your hype level on these new Persona dancing games, if any?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of hype. I enjoyed Persona 4 Dancing All Night. There were elements of the story that I enjoyed. I liked the different outfits for the characters. It was a lot of fun. Curious to see what they're going to do here. I'm like hesitant to commit one way or the other on hype, just because, as you said, with the story mode, what they're replacing it with, what is that going to be? And I do actually totally agree with you that if they're adding more to it, that actually leaves me a little bit cautious because those games were pretty crazy. But it's a little bit funny to me, like the response that some people have where they're like, this isn't what I want. You know, I want Persona 6 or I want Persona 5 Arena or whatever, where there's this sort of conception that these 2 dancing games are taking away from that or happening instead of those things, and I don't believe that. I don't think that's true.
I don't believe that's true. I think these are really easy to make, and those are coming out first. And the next we're going to see Persona 5 Arena.
I also think they were working on it from a while ago. Like they were already with the Persona 4 dancing game. They already were making assets for the next 2 because they basically said, we liked this. If it worked in Persona 4, which is basically our test game, we're going to make P3 and P5 as well. And so I believe in the process of making P4, they just started putting all stuff together for the other 2 games. And when they're like, oh, this works, they put out P5, let it set for a little bit, and they're like, okay, here we go. We have P5, P3 dancing.
Pretty much. Yeah, and I just think, because Ben, you were talking about, like, oh, why isn't Persona 5 Arena coming out? Like, Arc System Works is just so backed up right now. They have, like, 3 games they're working on right now, so maybe after 4. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, I totally agree with you. It's not like these are, like, they can't crank out a Persona 6 in, like, a year. That's just not going to happen.
I hope they don't ever do that.
Well, they put out a Persona 4 in 2 years.
Yeah, but, yeah.
I mean, now that they have the engine, technically it would go by quicker, yeah?
What would your feelings be if they didn't do Persona 6, but they did, like, a Persona 5... or Persona 3 and 4 remake, but it looks like Persona 5.
With all the quality of life stuff of Persona 5.
Yeah, so it's Persona 5-ish, but it's in the style of 3 or 4.
So, that's hard because a lot of the charm of 5 was the deep confidant stuff, right? And if they keep the old confidant or social links from the other games, which not all were nearly as deep, it would kind of be like, it's just fun, but like I kind of liked all the extra stuff.
This remake is going to be like a Resident Evil remake.
So they add some so like those confidants that don't give you anything will now give you a new skill or whatever.
If they work on it like that, then I would be interested, as long as they weren't like, okay, this is it, we're never making Persona 6. No.
Yeah. No, I would be all for it because, like I was saying, this is maybe like a month ago, but I had started replaying Golden on Vita, and it's kind of rough to go back to after P5. So if they had updated visuals and updated quality of life stuff, like I don't care if they don't update the dungeons, but if they just had the quality of life stuff, then I'd be totally fine. Especially with 3 because 3 is so fuzzy and it's been so long since I played it. But yeah, like Maddie said, as long as maybe it's like, hey, Persona 6 is announced, but also these are like in between. Like I don't know how they, but you'd have to be very careful with how you announce all those games to not get people pissed off. Yeah.
What about you, Ben? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'm torn because I do really love Persona 3 a lot. But at the same time, I think there's sort of this weird consequence of spending so much time with these characters. I mean, we had Persona 3, we had FES, we had Portable, and then we had them in Q and the fighting game and Arena as well. And it's just, I do like these characters a lot. I just feel like they've kind of, since release, like been pretty close. And so I haven't really had a chance to miss them. And so if like a Persona 3 remake were to come out soon, I feel like there wouldn't really be a break from those characters that I love as much. And maybe that's just been kind of the way that I'm consuming them, but it wouldn't feel as distant as I would expect. And I think that's why like the Zodiac Age kind of hit me in the sweet spot, is because it's been a long time since I've thought about Vaughn and Bosch and all those characters as well. So it's just a personal thing where like I want some more time between the last time I saw these characters to get invested, I guess.
I see it.
That's fair. Yeah, because like every time anything like this is announced, people are always like, "Oh, good, Atlas is milking it again," or whatever. So.
And then you see all the things on Twitter of like all the memes of people just drinking gallons of milk, saying, "I'll take that." I love those.
Yeah.
I wanted to join in because I'm like, yeah, give it to me. This is what I want.
I am an unabashed Persona fanboy, so I'll gobble it up.
I think that's why Persona 5, I mean, obviously hit so well, is because for years, I mean, since 2008, right, we've been kind of dealing with Persona 4 and Persona 3 characters, and so it was just so nice to get new characters with their own storylines and their own relationships and problems and style and that sort of thing. And so, honestly, I would be more excited about, like, a Persona 5 Golden than I would any sort of remake or these dancing games or anything like that.
Like, that's what I keep predicting. Persona 5 Ruby on Switch. Yeah.
On Switch?
Some sort of ultimate version of Persona 5 is almost assuredly happening, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'd like to think so.
They're definitely let out. There's time in the storyline for them to add stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Let's just let them have fun. You know,
Yeah.
their party got rained on. You know, all this stuff. They don't
Right?
know how. They don't know how to have fun on vacation. Just like make a couple fun events, and then that'll be like the perfect game for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I got what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'd also like a little bit more dramatic stuff too. Just a little bit for.
The whole game is like full of
Yeah,
drama.
I know, but I like that stuff.
Okay.
So that's why I love the game so much. And there's a point where it could expand on it more. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
You should be able to find your confidants more than just, the 3 at night.
Oh, you want more night stuff?
Yeah. Like in Golden, where you just talk to them and then it's like, this will raise your... It won't give you a rank up, it'll make your chances easier.
I really didn't care.
Matter.
Cool. So this will get, I think, Nick and Maddie excited.
Oh.
So I caught a tweet online the other day. It was a series of tweets in Japanese, but some people were translating it. But basically, a fan tweeted at Falcom saying, "Hey, I want Cold Steel 1 and 2 on PS4." And they're like, "Hey, well, we're interested, but we want to see the demand." And I don't know how you show the demand outside of buying the game a second time, but
4th time for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd buy it again.
But
Let's go.
well, it was as crazy as this sounds. I would almost be interested in that because when I was watching Nick play the PC version, I'm like, dude, this looks like a totally different game. Like having it run at a better frame rate and all this stuff. I mean, you had an FOV, the FOV out far,
Slider.
not FOV, yeah,
Yeah, FOV.
yeah, FOV, yeah. So it just looked like a totally different game. So if they could, I don't know if they could have that in like a console game because usually that's a PC thing, but it'd be nice for you guys, right? Because the whole thing is your saves carry over. It's like, how is your save from Vita
That's
going to
why
carry
I
over
was like,
to
Have to
PS4?
play it again?
It'd be fine, Nick. It'd be fine. Each time you choose a new waifu and you...
No, it has to be. No, I had to do the same waifu because it has to be the same
So
storyline.
that's why in this one you choose a different waifu, you experiment. And then the last one you're like, okay, I'm gearing up for the 3rd release. I'll play it again, real waifu, everything set up perfectly.
No.
He can't abandon Sarah. He's got to be true to her.
He's
I get it. But yeah, I mean, it's not happening, but it's usually when game companies tease you like that, I feel like it's already in the works, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't just say that. Or maybe they would, I don't know. Maybe they're just playing with our heart.
I mean, forget.
Well, Ben interviewed the director, right?
Oh,
Or
that's right. The
CEO?
president of
the president.
Falcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And during that interview, he said that he was interested in bringing all this stuff over to the West. He just needed to see demand for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant to say that. He definitely was interested, but as I learned throughout the conversation, like wanting to do something and being able to do it are two totally different things, and I don't want to make the mistake of making it seem easier than it is.
Because they're a relatively small studio for as much as they pump out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did he happen to mention? Because I'm imagining, like they said, Persona is like what, like 50 to 80 people or something, maybe more. So like, did he say anything about how big their studio is?
No, he did not give an exact number.
Okay.
During the interview, but I didn't directly ask either.
Okay. Because I imagine like a game like Cold Steel or Ys 8, like that can't be more than 40-ish people. Just because I've seen smaller teams pump out something more impressive. No offense to either of those games, but
Technically, they are an indie dev.
yeah, I mean they publish all their own stuff. Like this is kind of an extreme case, but like let's take for example Hellblade. I think there was only like 20 something people on that game, and that looks as good as anything out there. So it doesn't. I guess the number doesn't necessarily mean anything, but that's not.
They don't publish all their own stuff.
They don't.
Like Ys 8 is being published by NIS, and then Xseed has published a lot of like past Ys games and Trails in the Sky and that sort of stuff.
I guess I meant in Japan they publish all their own stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. The West is really kind of crazy. Like, like series will hop publishers all the time and stuff. I don't know what the deal with that is. Like, if they can't, it's just too much to handle at once for one publisher. I don't know.
Sean gave us a horror story.
A horror story?
Remember what he said last episode?
I don't.
I mean, he said a lot of things.
What about different publishers?
They won't necessarily keep.
I'm so scared. No, that will not stand.
Oh, that they won't keep the same voice actors and
Reen's
stuff.
voice is always Reen's voice. It's always Sean Chiplock.
Well, I feel like you said, Nick, I don't know if there was an article about this, but you felt like Xseed dropped Ys in favor of Cold Steel. Like they're just going to keep doing that or
They're
something.
just trails of, yeah. I think that's what's going on.
That's
and
comforting.
Ys is and then NIS is working on Ys, and I think Tokyo Xanadu.
That's Axis Games, I think.
Axis Games?
I think.
Yeah, there's...
Yeah, Tokyo Xanadu is Axis.
What's Swice, then?
I don't know.
That is Xseed.
That you're right,
That's
yeah.
also
That's
Xseed.
Xseed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool.
3 hype. Oh my god.
Yeah. So just last piece of news, a couple release dates. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen for PS4 and Xbox One comes out October 3rd. And Etrian Odyssey 5 Beyond the Myth comes out on 3DS on October 17th.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some
excitement.
EO hype over here.
Yes, absolutely. Bring on EO5. I'm excited.
I liked 4 quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, 4 was my introduction.
I've always wanted to go back to like the remakes, like like the Millennial Girl and the Fafnir Knight and all that stuff.
Yeah, the Untold, Etrian Odyssey Untold.
Those look cool. I'll admit, like, what got me interested was the box art, because the Millennial Girl box art is like gorgeous. Maybe like the best box art on the whole system. It's really nice.
You and box art, man.
Dude, box art is important, especially spine art. Square Enix, you're just a massive disappointment with your spine art, man. White background, plain black text.
It's not just
no logo
Square
treatment.
Enix.
They're the biggest culprit, though. Like, you look at your shelf, I guarantee you, going back to PS2 days, they just don't care. At least with Final Fantasy.
I said this before. That's a Japanese thing.
I know, but here's the weird thing. The Final Fantasy 14 on PS4, they like put the effort in. They did the whole logo and colored it and stuff like that. But 15, white background, black text. I don't know why they don't spruce it up. Everybody else can do it. It is my one weird pet peeve when it comes to gaming and box arts and all that stuff. It really annoys me.
Wait, see, Dragon Quest Heroes over there is white text or black text, white background.
Yeah, see, Square Enix.
Atelier Sophie, same thing.
Yeah, that one is inexcusable.
Cartoon Network Punch Time.
That's also one of those
GameStop ones.
Yeah, like generic ones. See, Final Fantasy 13. Tails got some good ones. Anyway, that's it for the news. But no, Etrian Odyssey 5. I think so. Here, there's this. I might get into this when we talk about what we've been playing, but I want to clear out all the 3DS games I want to play and just kind of put that system to rest at some point. I don't have very many games I want to play, but there's a couple Entry and Odyssey games.
Have you stopped your collecting?
I have. I haven't bought a new 3DS game since...
The Switch came out.
Did Dragon Quest VII come out this year or last year?
Last year.
Okay, then it was Pokemon Sun was the last game I bought.
I actually played a little bit of Dragon Quest VII like 2 days ago after taking months off, and that's always a fun experience.
Trying to figure out what you're doing.
Trying to figure out where you're going and what you're doing.
The plights of playing a classic style JRPG, yeah. It's just like, what was I doing?
That's why I can't stop.
I love back in the day when we played RPG Maker all the time.
Oh my god.
We always complained about the battle system, right?
Yeah,
But that's just like the Dragon Quest battle system.
pretty much.
How many times have we mentioned this?
I don't know. It just
We
always
just-
pops in my head.
RPG Maker, Dragon Quest battle system. That's the only thing that sticks into my head from all your RPG Maker stories.
But I don't know why we didn't like it back then.
Because it was very basic. Because we had seen other things. I think Tales had definitely been out, so we were used to like, action combat.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, RPG Maker.
Speaking of Dragon Quest,
Yeah.
Ben, how's the battle system in Dragon Quest XI?
So I haven't really gotten beyond my frame trap impressions. So I haven't played a ton, so I haven't really seen how the battle system evolves or like how much skills matter. But at the outset, at the very, 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 very beginning of the game, it seems familiar for sure. Nothing too crazy so far.
Yeah. When oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart.
Somebody.
I hate when that happens. Taylor, say something.
Sure.
I totally had a
No,
brain
but I've watched my buddy Johnny, Happy Console Gamer. He put a impressions video up, and he's pretty far. But like, it looks like you can do team up moves. I think you could do that in 8. I think Angelo and the main character had team up moves where you like do crossover or something rather. So I think there's double team moves. But what's interesting is it looks like, I don't want to call it totally like Grandia, but you can move the main character, it looks like, and you're not just like sitting in a line. Like you can move around and maybe get different angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can move the character around. So basically you have this circle that you're in when you're fighting things. It's actually kind of similar to Dragon Quest X, the MMO. But I haven't found any reason to move. I haven't encountered any benefit to that so far.
So you're not getting like extra critical strikes or anything like that from hitting from behind or something?
Not that I've seen, no.
Okay.
Yeah, again, hesitant to kind of say too much just because I'm so early. But
Do you import games often?
I've definitely done it more as time has gone on. But I think I actually might slow down again because what started the import thing was Puyo Puyo Tetris. I was like, we're not getting this. It's been forever since it came out in Japan. I really want this. And then we got Puyo Puyo Tetris. And I was like, well, we're not going to get Yakuza 0. And then we got Yakuza 0 and Kiwami and just everything. Like everything that I've imported, we've eventually got in the West, even Dragon Quest 11. So I don't know. On one hand, I like the idea of importing and trying to get early coverage out there, but the reality of actually making that happen might be a little difficult.
Yeah, it seems like it would be really hard to play because I've imported a lot of Tales games, the Tales games on the PS2 that we haven't got, and I beat Tales of Destiny twice. And that's the only way I was able to do that is because I know the game from the PS1. So I knew the story that was going on and everything like that, and I got through it. And then I always had a guide. But then if I try it with like other like Tales of Rebirth or Tales of Innocence or Tales of Destiny 2, the real one, I couldn't get through them because it was like I don't know the story and it just didn't feel right just reading a guide, playing it.
Sure.
It's because it was just weird that I could get through Tales of Destiny but not the other ones.
Yeah.
You imported Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I was tired of waiting. The same thing like Ben said. I was like, all right, I can't wait. But what was nice about Ni no Kuni is there was always like a gold star on your mini map that told you where to go. So up until a point, I could just play it on my own. But then at some point, I think I think you run into where you have to. Oh, this is what it is. You have to consult the book, and you have to like find a line in the book and type it in. And I had no idea what it was trying to ask me, and so I was just putting in random Japanese characters. I'm like, okay, I had to have a friend help me that spoke Japanese because I couldn't progress. And the only other game I can think of that I imported was this game called X Troopers, and it was this like arena shooter game from Capcom. It was all anime style. I didn't know this until after the fact, but apparently it was like made from old Mega Man Legends 3 assets that never got used because the game never came out. But yeah, that was an interesting little shooter game on PS3. You remember me playing that, right, Nick?
Yeah, I remember the only reason you bought it was for the anime aesthetic.
Yeah, pretty much.
And because of the trailer song.
The trailer song was so good. I still listen to that song.
It's funny because I've heard from some people, and I think it's a valid point where they're like, "Why are you importing the game? You don't understand the story or what the characters are saying or a lot of the context," and all of that is completely true. But at the same time, it is kind of, if you go into it with the right mindset, it is kind of an interesting experience because it's almost like depriving one of your senses, kind of. And because you can't rely on people telling you what to do all the time, you have to pay more attention to the environment. And looking around and trying to piece things together. And it's kind of an interesting way of feeling out a game and only focusing on the mechanics or only focusing on like what the UI, what the icons are telling you. Like I would never want to review a game that way, obviously, but it is kind of like it's always cool playing games from a completely different perspective, I think.
That should be a bet.
A bet?
The bet. The loser has to review an import game.
No.
That would be amazing.
No.
That would be pretty funny.
Not us. We're not reviewers.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't know if you wanted to start something. Just
The only person who's written reviews is Taylor.
Well, games for me, I rate them basically like 70% on story. So if I ever went into a game imported and I had no idea what was going on, I'd get really pissed off really fast. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
You forgot one other game that you imported.
I'm trying to think.
You imported Senran Kagura.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I thought for sure there was no way in hell we would ever get those games, but sure enough, we have all of them now.
I didn't think we were gonna get Galgun either, and here we are. Like we live in crazy times, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're bringing over everything.
No doubt. Yeah.
Except Mother 3.
Yeah, we can get Senran Kagura, we can get Galgun. No Mother 3. Nobody wants to buy that.
Aren't there fan translations?
I know that was a joke,
Yeah.
but that like still sucks.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. No.
That's all right.
I mean, that was before Senran was even...
Oh, yeah, because Mother 3, that's a Super Nintendo game or a N64 game?
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance. Okay.
Yeah.
That shows you how much I've played Earthbound. So,
Sadly, we haven't played. We didn't grow up with Nintendo, really.
no, like everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you haven't played Chrono Trigger still." I'm like, dude, I didn't play RPGs on Super Nintendo. I only started on PlayStation 1 and just never went back. So, yeah,
Still holds up.
that's what everybody says. I'm shocked because I thought for sure. I'm like, oh, there's no way a Super Nintendo game. Well, the platformer games hold up, but like archaic RPGs struggle to hold up.
But this isn't like an archaic RPG. It does things that PS1 RPGs didn't do. Only certain ones did. Like you could see the enemies on the screen and stuff like that.
The other
Right.
thing about Chrono Trigger is it's short.
It
Like
is.
you can get through it pretty quickly.
See, they tried to fix that in Chrono Cross, but then instead they made it way too long.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean that game is probably twice as long as Chrono Trigger. Would be my guess.
Chrono Cross was ridiculously long.
Well, because when you transfer over to the other character,
That's not that's like the first part.
yeah, I know, but you're that character for a long time in that game. From what I remember, I never went back. That's how long.
Oh really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just stopped playing it.
I got back.
Yeah, I need to go back. Oh, that's a game. That is one of my backlog of shame games. That and Final Fantasy IX. Those are the games that just have haunted me. They haunt me every day. I have nightmares about them.
See, with Chrono Trigger, I feel pretty confident that you could go back and enjoy it today.
Okay.
Especially if you already enjoy JRPGs and you're like willing to accept some of the things that go along with JRPGs. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games ever, and I'm always curious how new people will take to it, because so much of it was a time and place thing for me. Like, the characters seemed really good to me at the time and really well developed at the time, and like those cutscenes were really amazing at the time, and that world building was really amazing at the time. I'm not sure. I just doubt if it still has the same presence that it did back then.
I think, because I have been playing the PC version off and on, the part that's hard for me to go back to is the combat is just so dry and boring. There's nothing interesting about it. Thankfully, there's like the turbo mode, so you can at least make it go by faster. Mm-hmm. But I think the charm is still there for sure. Like, it's got good vibes. You know, it's got great music. Like, they redid all the character models, so they really pop in like a almost jarring way. But
in the PC version.
In the PC version, yeah, like they really stand out. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I'd be curious. Like Maddie, maybe like if you went and played Final Fantasy IX or something like that.
Because the only Final Fantasies that I've beaten and really played is 7 and Tactics
and 15.
Oh, and 15, but I don't really count that as a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, ouch!
The only Final Fantasy game I've ever played is 14 and 15.
Oh yeah, you played 14.
Do you like 14?
Yeah. It was funny because I have my MMO, and it's World of Warcraft. You can't stop me. But I played 14 for a little bit with my friends, and it was fun. I had to remake a character because I thought like it was, you make a character and then you make the archer, and then you have to make another character to make, the warrior. My friend's like, no. Your character can be anything and everything, like at the same time. I'm like, what? And so I played that for a while, and I go into a dungeon, and nobody knew how to tank, so I tanked. It was pretty funny. And the systems were cool. I like the animations and stuff, but I had to go back to WoW because that's my baby.
Sure.
Did you start playing when A Realm Reborn came out?
Well, I played A Realm Reborn. That was when I came in. I played, and then my friend was getting really excited for Heavensward, and I stopped like a month before Heavensward came out.
Got it.
Yeah.
What was the new one? Stormblood?
Stormblood, yeah. I feel like Final Fantasy 14, and this isn't necessarily a knock on it, but I feel like that is a game for Final Fantasy fans. There's like so much fan service in that game, and I think that will appeal mostly to Final Fantasy fans. Like I obviously, like, people probably play it, that's like their only Final Fantasy, like Maddie, but I think that is very much targeted at like longtime fans of the series.
I see where you're coming from, but I actually disagree with that. I think.
Okay, yes, disagreement.
There definitely is a lot of fan service. I mean, you go to Matoya's cave, but like, I think that stuff is included in a pretty smart way, and I actually think the story in and of itself is strong. And I haven't played Storm's Blood yet, so I don't know how good that is or isn't, but my time with A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, the story just pretty much got stronger throughout that. Like, I thought Heavensward in and of itself was really great. And like, outside of nostalgia, outside of the fact that this is a Final Fantasy MMO, it was just really, really good. And I would like suggest to people, like, if you do care about Final Fantasy or you're looking for a pretty solid RPG story, that like it's worth going through, like, just for the story by itself.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure my character is Yu Narukami.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was my character.
That's what you named him?
Yep.
Nice.
I mean, I didn't get it, so I had to add like an apostrophe at the very end of his name, but like, it was close enough. And my friend for my birthday bought me like a $20 mount that changes the music, so I rode that for like 2 weeks and then quit the game.
Wow.
I know, I feel kind of bad.
The one caveat I should say about the story, since I'm hyping it up so much, it is still an MMO, so it takes forever, and not everything's super exciting. So I guess, like, go in with that caveat in mind. It's not going to move the same way as a single-player game.
Remember, it's an MMO and has MMO systems in it.
Mm-hmm.
Killed 5 crabs and go pick up a watermelon on the other side of the earth and then bring it back to me because I'm too lazy to do it myself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah.
I can't play MMOs anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like I'm scared that I'm gonna get addicted again, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through that again. So,
I mean, that's the double-edged swords with MMOs, right? Because there's so much good in them, and you want to love them, and it's part of what makes them so fascinating is how much there is to dig into. But that's what also makes them terrifying. Like, I feel like when I'm seriously playing an MMO, I can't really play other things the way that I normally do. Like, maybe that's just my personality, but when I'm in an MMO, it's like, okay, I'm only playing this for the next few months. And that's hard. I like, even longer games, even like 30-hour games, if you really stick with it, you're done in a couple of weeks, and you have that satisfaction. Whereas an MMO, it's like, I could be doing this for the next year. I don't know.
It is scary, but at least Maddie has found a way to do both.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna launch into what we've been playing? Because I could just say I've been playing World of Warcraft.
You have been playing World of Warcraft. But I remember a tweet that Taylor made was there was an ad for Final Fantasy 14. It's like, return to the world of Ivalice. And you're like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
And you were freaking out. And then it was like in Final Fantasy 14. And you're just like, oh.
Yep. Use the old Yoda meme. I remember that tweet.
Yep.
I guess probably like the place where you're at with World of Warcraft, where you've leveled up your character, you've done all that stuff, and you can just like check in occasionally. That's probably a good spot to be at, I would imagine.
Yeah, so
she's leveled up like 7 characters.
Shush, Nick. I only have 4 max level characters, and I have 2 main characters, okay? But yes, I'm at the point. So when Legion did drop, and I think it was around when Cold Steel 2 came out, and I think I played a Legion for like 2 months before I even started Cold Steel 2. It was crazy. And I was really hyped for Cold Steel 2. That's how much Legion... Okay, anyway, moving on.
She disappeared.
I disappeared for a while. And so the point I'm at now is like, new patches are being released, new story-driven patches are being released, which is what I really care about in the game. And so I'm just hopping on like every 2 days to raid with a guild to beat the last boss. And then
nice.
That's it. Like, I play for total probably 6 hours every week, and I'm done. And that's good. I don't need any more. Except for the last week. Last week I played for a lot for just, I don't know why.
Wasn't that because you kept wiping, though?
No, that was, yes, but you weren't here. My day off, I basically played WoW all day.
Nice.
Yeah.
But like that thing I sent you, is that pretty accurate?
It was pretty accurate. Yeah. I miss
those
such
days.
a beautiful day. Sits down, launches World of Warcraft, starts doing like all the grinding stuff I have to do.
I remember summer vacation. Going into the sophomore year, I'd wake up, turn on WoW, go to bed.
Yep.
That was my days.
So every time you immediately booted up WoW, you went to bed. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Play it all day.
Anyway.
Great way to fall asleep booting up WoW.
Well, he also plays, 30 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
that's a nigga.
He played over 24 hours in one day.
It's impossible.
yeah.
That's his famous thing in Persona 5.
His quote that we won't ever live down.
Guys, Persona 5, I played over 24 hours on Saturday. What? Nick, are you okay? Did you do something to yourself?
He found the hyperbolic time chamber.
That's what happened.
You went into the metaverse, man.
You actually did, yeah.
And it busted my brain.
I can't. You said that on podcast, I think, too.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
But I say things like that all the time.
I know.
That's why.
That's why we love you.
Nickism. It's great. Yeah, World of Warcraft.
So that's what you've been playing, and you've been playing the 3rd.
I haven't been playing 3rd. I'm bouncing between the 3rd. See, I'm at the point where I can play 2 games right now, so I'm bouncing between WoW and playing the 3rd chapter
of Trails in the Sky.
Of Trails in the Sky, because
And the last time I saw where you were,
I'm 26 hours in.
I know that, but I need to know what realm you're in.
You need to know what realm I'm in.
What is it? Plane.
I'm in the 6th still.
Okay.
I'm in the long fun zone.
Long fun.
This sounds like potential spoiler territory.
I mean,
It's weirding me out.
I know it's not really, but like, yeah, I'm just saying a plane,
Tread
like
lightly.
like an airplane, you know, sixth airplane.
Be quiet, Maddie. Taylor, what are you playing?
I beat Zelda like right after the podcast last week.
You did. That was really
Did you tweet it
funny.
out?
Yeah.
Right after we recorded, you just took out your Switch and beat it.
Yeah, I was pretty much. I mean, I just had to go beat Ganon because I did all the Divine Beasts. I got all the memories. Got the Master Sword. I'm like, I'm kind of done hunting for shrines, so I'm just gonna go beat Ganon. I destroyed him, so that was fun. And then I played Hellblade, which is I mentioned earlier. This is Ninja Theory's new game, and they're trying to do this thing they're calling AAA indie, where they have a very small team internally and they publish it themselves, but they want it to be of AAA quality. And it is, how do I describe this game? I was trying to describe it to Maddie. I wouldn't call it fun necessarily, but it's very impressive.
You described it as a game I would hate.
Oh yeah, Nick would love this game. Maddie would hate it because it's so like oppressively in your face. So the general premise is you're this character Senua, and she's dealing with she has psychosis. So the entire game you're hearing these voices in your head, and you're seeing like these illusions appear in front of you, and like the world keeps changing. So it's like a horror action game.
Sounds like The Suffering.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. But it's impressive what they were able to do with such a small team, such a small budget, but it still looks incredible. And as I mentioned earlier, the gal that plays the main lead of Senua, this is the first time she's ever acted in anything. They were just doing motion capture for a trailer, and they're like, actually, you're doing pretty good. Let's just roll with it. And you would never know, like, the emotion she exudes in the story, and like, I don't know, it's just really impressive. And I would say it's at half price. It's $30 digital only, about 7-hour game.
Would you call it an horror game?
There's definitely horror elements. Like it can definitely be scary at parts for sure, especially the enemies, because they're like these faceless hulking demon things. Yeah, it's definitely can be scary for sure. Messes with your mind. But it's really intense. Like anytime there's a boss or like a combat encounter, I just feel like it just is always intense. It feels like Dark Souls. It feels like you could die at any moment, even though it's very simplistic. But yeah, I think you would really like that game.
I mean, it sounds cool, and I'd be interested to watch someone play it, kind of. But I probably wouldn't be able to.
No, this is not a Maddie game. Good story though. I mean, it's a very compelling. Like the other thing too is it's really intense. Like I'm like, oh, I'll just download it and marathon it, and I couldn't. I had to put it down a couple times. I'm like, yeah, I need to take a break. Like this is.
Did you beat it already?
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah,
right.
It's short. So, Ben, have you gotten around to playing Hellblade, or do you know much about it?
No, Huber reviewed it, and he made a plea for all of us to play it. And I didn't know much about it going into it, but when reviews started coming out, I checked those out, and it just sounds really interesting, both with the themes that it's tackling and the way that it's structured, and just visually it looks really, really cool. And I'm super curious to check it out. I just haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, it's been one of those kind of years, you know what I mean? And it's funny, I was thinking about this as I was playing Hellblade. I'm like, literally every kind of game that I like came out this year or is coming out this year. Like, we're getting a new survival horror game, Evil Within 2. We're getting fast-paced action from Platinum. We got that in Nier.
Totally
we got Persona. We got a new Gravity Rush. We got Horizon. We got a new Resident Evil. It's like, okay, like no year will ever top this, ever.
Right. It's crazy.
Like
absolutely.
And it's just relentless. And the fall is not letting up. We're getting a new Mario, new Wolfenstein, new Assassin's Creed. Like,
oh my god,
good God,
my wallet hurts.
It's tough because you're completely right. We've had this amazing year, and it's a year that we'll never forget. And while at the same time, some of my best experiences have been like Xenoblade Chronicles and Trails of the Sky, and as much as I have absolutely adored playing those things, it has made it so I can't keep up with everything. So
I feel bad for groups like your guys. I don't know how those Game of the Year discussions are going to go, because like everybody's going to have a favorite. It's going to be like everybody's going to pick one game, and it's gonna be crazy. Like, I don't know how those discussions are gonna go down, or how you guys are gonna come to a consensus.
Yeah, it can definitely be a problem. And it was a problem with top 10s as well, where, everybody kind of has a different horse in the race. But I think the way that we're going to correct that here is push out awards a little bit and give people a chance to catch up, where it's like, okay, you don't have any assignments or anything. This is your time to play the things that other people are recommending and other people are going to be fighting for, so you have some sort of voice. So I hope that shakes out like that, and hopefully it'll make for a better game of the year discussion and awards and all that stuff.
Or Mario's gonna kick everyone's butt.
I don't know. That could be, cause
maybe.
Well, here's the really scary proposition of pushing out awards: is that early 2018 is stacked as well. Like, it just doesn't stop.
There's only one game that matters, and it's called Dragon Ball FighterZ.
No, it's called Ni no Kuni 2.
2018 is turning out to be like a good year.
I think
for
both
me.
of those matter.
Yeah, both of them matters.
Because
Yes, I agree.
oh god, I really only care about the Persona 5 anime. I'll be honest.
I'm telling you, man.
Please, give it. I can't wait.
It's like, yeah, we're getting all these great
I don't
JRPGs, all
even
these
care.
amazing games.
I want this anime.
God of War's coming back, but all I want is a P5 anime.
All I want is a
Please.
P5 anime.
Please.
Die happy.
I cried so long when that text, that Twitter, I can't even talk. Oh god.
And
I think you'd like Ni no Kuni though, Maddie. I think you should play the PS3 version and then hop in on 2. I think
I'll
you'd
do
like
that.
it. You too, Nick. I've been trying to get you guys to play that game forever.
I know you've had time too, and you've been playing like random games like Xenoblade. I don't know which one you're playing.
Xenoblade Chronicles is not a random game.
It's random.
It's very random.
It was recommended by Ben, and I'm playing it.
Okay.
What do you think of Xenoblade Chronicles?
I like the story. I hate the side quests.
That's fair. That's fair. The side quests can be really useful in a lot of different ways, but at the same time, like, I didn't get too hung up on side quests, and I don't really have that many regrets, except unless I missed some crazy things, which is totally possible.
So
are you somebody that has to do all side quests and everything?
Yep.
yeah, that's what's bugging me now, because they talk to me and they're like all the NPCs are. I talk to all the NPCs and they give me stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do this, but I have to.
You don't. See,
yeah.
that's the mentality that we need to create. You don't have to do it because there are so many side quests in Xenoblade. There are a ton.
But I got past it. Okay, I got past it, and then
Okay.
I finally met the Mila, or what's her name?
Melia?
Melia. I finally met
Whoa,
her,
spoilers.
and that's not spoilers. And then I needed to go back and make my gems, and I was like, man, I gotta fast travel all the way back to the beginning of the game. But then I got a quest at Colony 9 saying, hey, Colony 6 needs one of these furnaces, and I'm like, huh, I gotta do this quest now. And then it's led me down a huge rabbit hole of side quests, and I'm like, do I really need to do this?
No.
But I need that furnace.
Yeah, getting the portable gem crafter is very, very, very helpful, for sure.
So that,
Yeah, I'm curious what you think as you're going on. I mean, if you're doing all of the side quests, I wonder if certain boss fights will be like substantially easier. How do you find the gem crafting? Like, have you been able to pick up on that pretty well?
I've kind of figured it out. Gentle Flames makes me be able to get back all the stuff that I didn't get to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out a good combo to get a lot of Gentle Flame stuff and then a lot of increases. But I don't get fevers or anything like that. I don't know, it's like that's just random. And very time consuming though, because I always do it in a big bulk. But I like it. I like the customization.
Do you like the combat?
Combat is fun, yes. Oh,
Cool.
wait. It's a fast pace. I'm gonna bring it up again, guys. It seems like a faster pace.
Dragon Quest?
White Knight Chronicles.
Dang it.
Except without the combat, the combo system. But it's fun. I enjoy it. The party members, I don't know who to pick now.
Yeah, that's something something I really just desperately love about Xenoblade is all of those characters are so different from each other. Like, I mean, you start out like Ryan is your pretty obvious tank, but some of them get like really interesting. Like, I think Ricky's a really interesting character. I think Dunban is a really interesting character.
Yeah, I switched.
I think Melee is cool.
I switched Rain with Dunban because I like no one was doing damage, and Dunban does damage and also tanks. So I switched him with that.
Yeah, the flexibility that you have, how you get so many arts, and just experimenting with all of those is pretty fun, and just setting up different combinations. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, and it like you get more out of it the more you put into it, which is nice.
Yeah, it like the story started getting really good, and I was getting really into it, and then that portable furnace side quest came, and I'm like, I want this.
Just demolish everything.
I'm actually surprised this is a Nintendo game with some of the outfits are in the game that are there. It's like, I'm amazed these weren't censored.
They learned their lesson. They censored a lot in Xenoblade X. Yeah.
But it was still funny. I laughed when I saw those outfits. I think, oh man, Charla now, she's wearing like a bikini.
Oh
yeah,
and that was
armor,
just the normal armor though. It's not like the bikini vanity item. It was this normal armor, and it was like a jungle thing. I was like, oh, okay, Xenoblade, I get you.
Makes sense.
Other than that, I've started Trails of the Cold Steel PC, and everyone knows my opinions on that game.
Godlike.
It is godlike. I like all the new voices. They voiced NPCs, like random NPCs they voiced. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't know why they did that. So
I mean, there was more Reen voice in, so that's all I care about.
Yes, we know you like Reen.
I like voice acting in general. So in a lot of the game, like there were like story parts that didn't have voice acting, and then there was other story parts that did have voice acting, and neither seemed more important than the other. And I was like, how are they deciding what part gets voice acted and what part doesn't?
There's some parts like that in here, but a lot of things are voice acted now.
Apparently, the whole beginning was voice acted.
The whole beginning was
that
voice
surprised
acted.
me.
Yeah, and some of the lines that I want to hear voice acted are like, yes, they're voice acted finally.
I really like your affinity for JRPG protagonists. That's not something that I encounter a lot, and the protagonists don't tend to be my favorite characters, and so that's cool.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I've talked to... I think every protagonist of every game... Yeah, so should I just put in Stella Joshua as just like, yep. Favorite characters right there. You good.
I guess Estelle is probably my favorite character in Trails in the Sky, so it's not totally... Estelle is great.
Estelle is a fantastically written character.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on about that, but I won't.
We can't.
We can't.
We can't.
Yes.
I have found some bugs in that game, though. I don't know if it's because I'm running at 60 frames per second, but sometimes the animations for the enemies, they would, the Reen would get hit before the animation of the character, the enemy would hit him.
That's funny.
Oh,
So
weird.
I was like, okay, that seems like a weird bug, but that was definitely not in the Vita version.
Yeah.
And one time, the voice acting didn't match the text at all.
That's fine.
It was completely random.
Oops.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I need to find a book, and then it says like, oh, so I need to do this right now. I'm like, that didn't match up at all.
I mean,
Fail.
No, I think it was actually just a bug, but it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It made me laugh.
yeah.
What?
I'm just thinking about all like the games I've played, and I'm like, yeah, Protagonist is my favorite character. Protag's my favorite character.
Yeah, I'm
Velvet,
thinking
Saray,
about it now.
Mikleo,
They are.
Luke.
Mikleo is not a protagonist. It's not that protagonist.
He's basically a protagonist.
Wait. This is just me trying to understand. This is not coming down hard or anything.
Oh god.
Saray and Mikleo are your favorite out of all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I accept that.
In Zestiria.
It's Asteria, yeah. So in the game.
That's totally fine. I'm just like on the complete opposite end. I think I like
Rose.
Rose a lot. Yeah, Rose is probably my favorite.
Rose was really
Rose
funny.
is a good character. I just loved the dynamic between Saray and Mikleo, which is why I named both of them.
So did a lot of people at Fanime.
I know. if I had to name like the favorite character, I'd probably name Mikley over Saray. So.
Okay, I'm into that.
Okay, yeah, because like Saray can be but like them together, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I do think the relationship between them is good, especially early on.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets weaker over time.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, it's definitely a good quality that relationship has for sure.
You know what I like about Zestiria?
What, Nick?
Getting destroyed by Jade.
Oh crap!
You know what I liked about Zestiria?
You know what? I think you found one.
You know what I liked?
Found what?
I think I might like Jade better than Luke.
Well, nobody likes Luke.
Yeah.
No, Luke's storyline's really great. But
at the beginning, nobody likes Luke.
Nobody likes Luke
of course
at the beginning.
not. But Jade's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Ben, what have you been playing lately?
Everything.
Yeah, yes and no. I feel like I've been playing a lot, but I also feel woefully behind. It's a weird sensation. The big one, I guess the one to talk about is finally finished Trails in the Sky, and that felt real good.
Yeah.
Goddamn, they make you really want to go into that second chapter pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I waited maybe 2 minutes before I started the second one up.
I hate you. I think I'm the only one that played it when it came out, or beat it when it came out.
Mm.
When did you play it, Nick?
I mean, I played it when it came out, but I didn't play it.
Oh, okay.
I was in a different mindset back then.
Got it. Okay. But yes, that they do that. They do hook you for the second one.
And
do you guys, just out of curiosity, do you like the second one more than the first? It feels weird, maybe, I guess, to even ask that question because they're both kind of one story, but...
by Maddie's really hyped up reaction...
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, second chapter is really good. And it's also twice as long.
Yeah, that's a long freaking game.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious about the structure of the second chapter because, like, the way the first chapter works, right, is you have these up-and-coming bracers and they're going around the world getting recommendations and they're solving things, like, kind of single things within those chapters, and then some of those elements from the things that they're solving tie into a bigger narrative overall. But it's really kind of just like introducing you to this world, and it almost kind of has like this almost TV show episodic quality to it. Whereas at the end of first chapter, they drop this absolute atomic bomb on you, and I don't know, like, are you pretty much just chasing that, like, very desperately right from the outset, and then it doesn't let up, or does it slow down? I don't know. I'm curious.
Yes and no?
Yeah, yes and no. That's how I gotta go about that one.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just say this. The prologue of the second chapter is the next morning.
Okay.
So, that's fun.
That sounds sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's cool. One of the things that I loved about first chapter is the slow moments, getting to spend, kind of those fun moments with the different characters and doing different things. Like, I thought the play in the first chapter was really great.
God.
I'm going around the school. It was awesome. And so I hope, and there probably is, but I hope there are a lot of moments like that in second chapter as well.
It's definitely different arcs.
Okay. Cool. Your, like, barely contained excitement, like, is making me even more hyped to check it out.
Perfect. This is all in grand design.
It's hard to talk about those games now because I always feel like I'm going to spoil something from a different
it's really
game.
hard. Out of curiosity, by the way you were talking about it, it doesn't sound like you have, but have you played Cold Steel 1?
Yes.
Okay.
I've played it. I haven't gotten, like, especially far.
All right.
I'm trying to remember where exactly I got.
Nord Highlands, probably.
Oh, great. Yeah.
That doesn't even... What? That doesn't even sound familiar.
That's good.
Is it a big field and do you ride on a horse?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay.
I haven't done that.
Hasn't gone that far.
Yeah, so if what you're saying isn't very far, then I definitely haven't gotten that far. Here's the unfortunate case of Trails of Cold Steel. So we got Trails of Cold Steel, and I was actually going to slowly work on a review for it, and then we got laid off. There were like several games that this impacted. Trails of Cold Steel was one of them. Fire Emblem Fates was one of them. And I think there was something else, but I don't remember it. And then I started Trails of Cold Steel again, got distracted by something, and then I eventually found out that they were doing the PC version, so I was like, well, I'll just wait for that.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Yeah.
And then
you did a good thing.
You did a good thing. And again, it might not be possible with how busy you are, but I would still recommend playing the Sky series first before continuing on into Cold Steel.
Yeah. I definitely think I want to do that for sure. Have they announced a localization for Cold Steel 3?
No.
I don't think they
Okay.
will until after it's out in Japan, right? I know that hurts.
Probably.
That hurts me so much, but it's the truth.
I really do hope. I don't know what Xseed is doing. They might do Crossbell first.
No, I need the third
I know.
so badly.
Or they could surprise us and say, "Hey, we're doing Crossbell and we're working on the third now." Cold Steel 3.
They seem to be putting so much effort into the Cold Steel series. I can't imagine them not bringing it over because they just did the PC version. They're doing the PC version for 2.
It's coming over. I just don't know how quick it's gonna come over.
Well,
It's quick.
So last week, Ben, we had the Reen's voice actor on, Sean Chiplock, and I don't know if he's very good at keeping secrets or but he is like, well, I haven't heard anything.
Well, he did the same thing with the Cold Steel 2,
which
PC,
had
and
gotten released.
that's already been announced. He's
Well.
I don't know if I'm working on that.
No, he
It's
didn't
like,
say
well,
that.
he was a little
said-
bit
he
more,
said, so
cheeky
Cold
about
Steel.
that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
And Nick was like, come on, it's been announced. And he's like, yeah, that's pretty sweet right
Yeah.
there. I'm like, oh, wow. He's
so
good.
professional.
Yeah, consummate pro.
But yeah, I think you have a long time to catch up. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
in our time, I don't know about your time.
he's busy.
Yeah, since this is the JRPG podcast, there's a part of me, it's not all of me, but there's a little part of me that is just like, man, I wish I could just say screw every other video game and just focus on just JRPGs, or even just right now, Trails. That would be cool. But yeah, it's hard because the Trails in the Sky Don't Skip, that was something that I had to chip away at over time, and it's man, I really want to do this, but it's not super relevant, and not only is it not super relevant, and we have to, there's some onus on us to keep up with modern games, and there's only 9 of us, and not all of us do reviews, and so yeah, just finding a balance between trying to keep up with other stuff, doing these little tiny pet projects, and just other shows and things like that. It's been a hard balance.
I was gonna ask, so because you guys are on Patreon and you guys don't rely on views and stuff like that, do you still feel this obligation to get modern game reviews out, to prioritize that over everything else?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I think reviews are still kind of our bread and butter. Those are still the things that do the best and have the most potential for doing the best. But at the same time, we really care about the quality of our reviews, and something that I think we've done better at with Easy Allies than we did with Game Trailers is, I feel like when we put our name on a review, for the most part, we just really stand behind it, and I think we've been able to make longer, more detailed reviews because of it. Sometimes they come out later, sometimes much later, but I think just the general level of criticism has seen a slight bump, and yeah, like I said, they do perform better than other stuff, and so it is something that we're kind of doing, because there are people that only watch us for reviews. I think that audience has shifted for sure, but yeah, there are definitely people that only watch us for reviews.
Well, and like you said, I kind of appreciate that you guys do the longer form stuff, because the bigger websites like GameSpot and IGN, like I think I was watching a Hellblade review. It was literally like 2 minutes, and I'm like, dude, how can you like learn anything in 2 minutes? So like the fact that you guys go over 10 minutes depending on the game, like that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, something like Neo, there were just so many systems and so many things to talk about. It couldn't not be over 10 minutes. Like I didn't know how to do it any other way. But it obviously changes game by game. But yeah, it's difficult, I think, because with Easy Allies, it's been nice that I think all of us have been able to express like the things that we're passionate about. Like, oh man, like, hey, I'm really into JRPGs, and people have responded to that passion really well. But at the same time, I feel like some self-disappointment where it's like, I can't finish all of these things as fast as I want all the time, because we're doing all this other stuff too. And it's just chaos.
I remember when you first started appearing on, I think, Invisible Walls.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about Japanese JRPGs, and I was like, thank goodness there's someone talking about JRPGs in game media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is crazy. Like, I think about when I started in 2011, and the narrative was, Japanese games are so far behind their Western counterparts, they're dead, no one cares about these anymore, you're not going to see big budget console JRPGs again, and it's like, man, that couldn't be further from the truth.
Our prayers were answered. Thank you,
JRPG.
JRPG
Yeah, no
gods.
kidding.
Well, prayers were answered, but I also think like the community really did a tremendous amount of work. I think the community just didn't buy into that bullshit and really like went above and beyond. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why I like JRPG so much, and like this podcast is a part of it. I mean, you guys are so passionate about it, right? Like, you don't just play these games, like you learn about them, and I think that takes you a step above. And like, these people are just doing incredibly detailed wikis and videos and like letting people know about these games. Like, I think about Operation Rainfall being a good example of that. And like, I think those companies that are making those games, because fans have been so vocal, they've been able to do a lot more, and I'm extremely grateful for that.
One of the scariest times was when I think Namco announced that if Trails of Graces F did not sell, they were not going to bring Tales over anymore.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was like, everyone buy Trails of Graces, not Trails. And thank goodness that sold so well.
It also was a really good game.
Yeah.
So
It was really good.
Well, I think, again, like, kind of like what Ben was alluding to, like, I think companies only know just pure numbers. Like, we can speak as loud as we want, but if nobody's buying these games, then who cares, right? And I really think the game that got the ball rolling on all this was Bravely Default, because it was like one of those, it was like a throwback JRPG, and like, we'll just put it out in 3. Square Enix didn't even publish it in America. Nintendo did, because they were so like, nobody's gonna buy this. And I think it sold better here than it did in the West, and they're like, oh, people actually care. Or it sold better than it did in Japan. Sorry, but like look at this year. Like, Final Fantasy is probably like 15 was like one of the best selling ever. Persona 5 sold better in the West than it did in Japan. Like, cumulatively.
I'm just glad I'm just glad they got rid of the whole it needs to sell Call of Duty numbers, because every company was doing that. It's like, if it doesn't sell 8 million, it's a failure.
Yeah, like, keeping it in check is nice. Just having some more realistic numbers. So, but I feel like last gen we got flooded with a bunch of really bad ones. Like a lot of those Compile Heart and Idea Factory, like all those Hyperdimension, Neptunia and stuff. Like, people buy those, I get it, but like, there were a lot of those, like,
there's still
low tier. I know people. I mean, the budgets either must be small or more people are buying them than I realize. But it's good to see like these big, like you said, these big AAA games. Like, we got a sequel to Ni no Kuni. Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. The Final Fantasy 7 remake, Dragon Quest. So. And it just never stops.
2018, an awesome Dragon Ball Z fighter came out. It's coming out. MechWarrior's coming out. A new one. I'm living the dream, guys.
Yeah, we thought 2017 was good. 2018 might be even better. if all these games hit.
Oh boy.
Then I'll probably die.
It's like, okay,
And
I can,
2018 will be my last year on Earth.
yeah, it's like I can die happy because, like, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about like Fire. There's a new Fire Emblem coming out next year on Switch.
Yep.
Oh.
There's a new Xenoblade Chronicles coming out.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
a lot like the first Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's this year though.
Supposedly, we still don't have a release date, but
The if they announce this one game, which if it happens,
Is it what I think it is?
no, I don't think you guys
Oh.
think it.
Okay.
If Arxis and Namco,
Oh, I think I know what you're saying.
since they're buddy now,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna make a tag team Tales of fighter.
I don't know if it's big enough.
It's so hard because like my heart just wants to be like, yes, you're
Yes.
right, that will happen. And then I think about it, I'm like, no.
I want that so bad.
That would be so awesome.
I mean, you can
man.
see it, right? Like you can
Oh,
visualize
yeah.
that
Oh
game.
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah, I
sure.
can.
in that Guilty Gear style, like the Dragon Ball Fighter style. Yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
It's so good.
Now, if that's announced, I could die happy.
I think we get Persona 5 Arena before that.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. We know that's.
I feel like we're dangerously close, and maybe we're already in it, I don't know, to the internet becoming filled with, please Arc System Works make this franchise into a fighting game. Just like we were with like Platinum not
Right.
too long ago. Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I know people have their disagreements with like Korra and Ninja Turtle and stuff like that, but I still feel like that Transformers game is real good.
when that Blaze Blue cross tag game, whatever it's called, was announced, I was like, holy crap, how is this even possible?
I know they have like Ruby. Like, who would even think to throw her like in a big fighting game? Like,
Next they're
that's
gonna have
crazy.
Goku because they have Dragon Ball Fighters, so it's gonna be like a huge cross.
Yeah,
Well, we're fighting games.
They don't have Guilty Gear though, which is weird.
yeah. Well, they're two totally different styles because BlazBlue is like the 2D pixel and Guilty Gear is now that 3D.
So we're gonna move on to our topic then.
Oh boy.
How can Tales improve itself? Because I mean, I like how Tales is now, but it is the same formula for the last 4 or 5 games.
That's okay.
It really isn't though.
It isn't though.
I say it's not. So I made a video on my channel. It's probably like the last video I made. It's been a long time, but I was looking at how even in Japan, like the sales are slowly declining. It's not like these giant leaps, but like you can tell, like the first week sales are slowly but surely going down every new game. In my opinion, it's not a story or gameplay thing necessarily. I think it's a design thing. Like the dungeon layouts, the world layouts are just boring. Like in Zestiria, there's just these big open fields, and you just run for the sake of running. Just like, oh, look how big we made it, but there's nothing there. Like you look at Zelda, there's things to find. There's Korok seeds, there's shrines, there's weapons to pick up. There's like things to find. There's reasons to explore. And in Zestiria, there really is no reason.
Do you think they could make a Tales game like Breath of the Wild?
Whoa. I don't know if that team has it in them, if I'm being honest.
No,
They would need.
no, I'm just saying. Can you see that that working?
Like I said, they'd have to hire like a new design team because I haven't seen them make a game like that. I honestly think they should just go back to like Vesperia. They should just go back to world maps. Like if your whole thing is like we're gonna keep it classic and we're not gonna update it, it's like okay, well then go back to what works and just do better designed towns. Keep the world map simple, but like save resources for the things that matter.
You know what you're missing, Taylor? You're missing the fixed camera.
Fixed camera, it's
Because
fine.
because that's what made the world for Vesperia all awesome, because the camera would like move and be in specific places to emphasize areas of the map. But with the later Tales games, they're free cameras. They're you could move them around and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it. I've noticed this with Vesperia and not Vesperia, with Berseria and Zestiria. Man, lots of areas.
Yeah.
The free camera kind of made it weird for me. It was like something's missing. This doesn't feel like very Talesy. But Maddie, what about you? What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I mean,
I need first. Wait, I'm gonna interrupt you. I need you to play a 2D Tales game.
What if I don't want to play a 2D Tales game?
Oh, you want to play a 2D Tales game?
I don't want to play a 2D Tales game.
They're the best.
Whatever.
The conversation heard around the internet.
Granted, I started playing these games about 2 to 3 years ago, so it's not like I quote unquote grew up with these. I liked the way Berseria ran. I liked a lot of what Berseria did. There was interacting with some of the environment. There was the way they did the skit system I enjoyed because the side quests actually kind of were meaningful.
Yeah, the skit system was really good.
The skit systems was really good. There was like better animations and stuff like that. They didn't build off of the world of the previous title, but they added to it. Well, it's technically the previous title is, later in the storyline. So I guess I don't know. Yes, they built off that world pretty well.
But you wouldn't change anything? The Tales is perfect?
I'm thinking about it.
How'd you like moving around in Grace's? Compared to...
Did Grace's had
Grace
the ship,
had
right?
the fixed camera.
Grace's had a fixed camera.
Grace had a fixed... Oh, it did! Yeah, I could see a fixed camera working. I liked Grace... I did actually like walking around Grace's, world. I think a little bit more than Berseria and Zestiria.
It's that free camera.
Free camera.
It
Also,
changes everything.
There was also the Tales formula of at the end of the... I don't know if it's the Tales formula, but 3 of the Tales games I played in a row had it. Whereas, you get the ship, and you use the ship to travel the world.
I think that's just a JRPG trope.
Yeah, that's
like
an old school JRPG thing.
Okay.
Yeah, all the Final Fantasies. Yes, I finally got the airship.
I mean, that was cool. I liked that because it made it easier teleporting. The system that replaced that was just buy a bottle in Berseria, and you could just teleport to the different towns, which
weird.
felt kind of anticlimactic, but it made it useful traveling around the world.
I know that you're scared of going back because it's archaic, but you played Tales of Hearts, and I just retried it, and it has random battles in it.
Yeah, I know.
So I think that's the only thing that you would be afraid of is random battles.
The thing I'm afraid of is 2D battle systems, bro.
It's like playing a fighting game, man.
Did I say I really enjoyed fighting games?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I like fighting games. I mean, sure, but I also, I don't know. I just have a list. Yes, I'm scared, and I also have a list of other games I want to play ahead of a 2D Tales game.
What about you, Ben? What are your gripes with Tales, and how would you improve them?
Yeah, it's difficult because I actually, I haven't finished Berseria, and what I have played of Berseria, I've liked. And so for
Berseria's
me,
a great game.
Berseria was a significant improvement over Zestiria. And so, but I guess when I'm thinking about it in a grand scale, you were talking about the Tales formula and how it needs to change. And when I think about these games, when you actually get into them, there's quite a lot that is different usually, in terms of theme and tone and characters and what they're actually tackling with the story. There are a lot of differences, and they do make significant changes to the battle system. But and I still think there's a lot of novelty in that Tales battle system itself. I'm not sick of that style of combat by any means, but I think the problem is one of style in a way. Because I think if you were to put Zestiria and Berseria side by side, I mean, those are games with drastically different tones. And I think for a lot of it, they look very similar. And, when we're comparing it to a series like Persona, right, where I would argue that they have absolutely just been kind of expanding upon the central formula, it's, I think, more difficult to confuse those games because of the way that they differentiate them. I mean, Persona 3 is blue, Persona 4 is yellow, Persona 5 is red. Just stylistically, the types of music that they're playing, the way that the environments look, the type of environments that you're exploring, are all so dramatically different. And so I think just from a purely visual sense, Tales could stand to be a little bit more adventurous in the types of designs that it's putting forth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it started with Grace's. The two Tales teams merged into one, the two different design teams, and you've had the same style. You could see it in the character designs, in the world, and what's it called? The like weapons and stuff. They all look very similar, and I've always wanted them to change back to what they used to be. It's just they had like how Asbel has that coat that's a very like all these designs on it, and then you notice that there's like a character like that in every single Tales game now.
Saray kind of has like that, except it's different. It's like a big sheet. I don't know what you call it.
I mean, Aizen kind of has that. That's what we gave.
It's the same thing. It's the same type of design. Art design. When you compare them to the older ones, Tales of Destiny look different than Tales of Eternia. Tales of Fantasia look different than Tales of Symphonia. They have this same kind of like it looks like a Tales game, but the art style was always kind of different. But now they all look very similar.
Here's what I'm hoping. I hope they get themselves in a Fire Emblem situation where, like, Namco's like, all right, this is your last chance. If this doesn't like really blow it out of the water sales wise, like your guys are done. And so I hope they just put all their effort and they like really experiment and get crazy and they like make this game that everybody can get excited about Tales again. And then they take it off a whole new direction. Because for better or worse, like Fire Emblem had like almost no presence in the West until Awakening, and it just added all these things, and it was amazing. So I'm hoping whatever this new Tales game, again, they've been taking a while. Like Berseria came out last year in Japan or the year before or something.
It's been, I think now it'd be like almost 2 years since they've announced the new Tales game.
I'm actually happy about that because it's like, okay, good. They're taking their time. They're not gonna rush a Tales game out because I wonder if they're coming to the same conclusions. Like, okay, we need to redo the design. We need to, our sales are going down. Let's think of something that we can do to spruce it up.
It's funny that you bring up Fire Emblem and we were talking about Persona because both of those games have their own sort of system of building relationships with characters.
Waifu.
And it's it's something that you're seeing other series adapt as well. Do you think that is something that would work in Tales? Do you think that is something that would be well received? Would you want to see it?
Well, I'm actually pretty sure that like an episode or two ago, Nick was the one who's just like, guys, we should have social links in Tales, and it'll be great. Like your party members, depending on who you bond with, you'll power them up, you'll get extra items, you'll get extra abilities, and I could actually see that happening in a Tales game because that'd be a new mechanic. It'd be fun because you develop the characters a lot more. I don't know, Nick, you want to continue because it was technically your thought.
It was my thought.
Yeah.
Well, my idea was you go to a new town, and there would be a story moment where your party members split up, something like that, and you could explore this town, and then you could find like mini events that you could talk to like with your characters, and you get to know these guys. You get to know them better, or you just totally ignore it if you want to. But this will kind of like replace the skit system, and the skits would actually mean something.
It's true, but I also liked the skit.
They're still going to be there, but they're going to do this instead.
I feel like that would be more meaningful because to me, skits always seemed
just gives you
like an annoyance, or not an annoyance, but I'm like, they're just there. Like I'm not really getting anything out of them, but I feel like obligated to watch them, even though they're not that interesting.
I will say some skits are meaningless, and I like your idea about that. But I also like the skits, for example, in Berseria, where you'd be in the story moment, and then suddenly you go into a skit that helps narrate the story moment better because the animations, instead of your one character just running down a hallway, all the animations, all the characters are yelling at each other like, oh my god, what's going on? All that stuff. I liked those kind of skits. Those kind of skits are awesome. I don't want that to go away. Mm-hmm. But your system is very good as well.
But before Nick gets into it, unfortunately, I'm going to have to step out.
All right.
But
bye,
Ben,
Taylor.
it was good talking with you again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
For sure.
We'll see you later, Taylor.
Yeah, I'll probably be back later.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'll see Ben probably at PSX.
Probably.
Probably.
Man, I gotta get by.
Sorry. Anyway, get into it, Nick.
Yep. Oh my gosh. The Tales of Xillia actually had sort of a system link or a social link thing. Same with Tales of Hearts. Do you remember that?
Oh man, it was my first Tales game. I mean, they had I know one of the things was Spirit Link, but that was like just kind of part of the story. I didn't think you actually leveled those up.
You do level them up. Like, you see what relationships these characters had towards each other. And you, like, I remember in Hearts, it showed you what they thought of them. I don't know what really. I don't remember what it did, but I remember it was there. But in Xillia, it helped you do your Link attacks.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see, but
it'd be a cool system to implement.
It'd be funny because that would mean other than Final Fantasy, every Tales or every JRPG we played would have social links. Trails, Tales, Persona, and Fire Emblem.
I mean, it's a great system to use for story. Continue.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Xenoblade. You know, you have something that is kind of similar with the relationships as well.
In Xenoblade as well, yeah. I don't know what it... Oh, I know what it does. Never mind.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to do a quick, I just don't want what happened... If they do the crazy Tales, we're remaking some things. I don't want them to... It sounds awful, but I don't want them to Final Fantasy 15 it, where it pissed off a lot of the old, Tales... Final Fantasy players, because it didn't feel like Final Fantasy, right? I don't want them to not make it feel like Tales in trying to surprise us kind of deal.
I know this is never going to happen again. I would like to return to a 2D battle system so badly.
I think you just want to live inside Tales of Destiny.
I think
you just want to put your consciousness inside Tales of Destiny.
You guys, you need to play. The remake battle system's so good.
I believe you.
Liked the Graces battle system because
just imagine
evading and stuff, that was so much fun.
Just imagine that, but in 2D.
It's not the same.
And your spells would actually hit, and they don't miss. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like about the 3D ones.
Okay, well, that's just your problem.
But the reason I like the 2D Tales games, especially the newer ones, it's more like a fighting game, and I love fighting games.
Then that might be just a personal preference, because I think if it went to 2D, I might get mad at that. I wouldn't like that. It might be fun, but it would. So fun. I liked the systems I love the Seraphim Link. What was it called? I always forget.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a very unique... I think that was kind of... There's either people that liked it or people didn't like it.
I loved it. It added a whole layer strategy. It's when... it was Zestaria's battle system. And then I liked Berseria because of the whole... You use your break, you do your whole combo, and then your other character could pop in and continue the combo. That was great as well.
Yeah, I like Berseria's.
And you can't have stuff... you can, but it wouldn't feel as great or powerful if you just were stuck in a 2D battle system, because the freedom of movement, some of the abilities were movement like stuff.
I really need to show you these battle systems, Maddie.
Nick, stop.
I mean,
I've watched you play Tales of Destiny. I've seen these battle systems. I just don't like them.
But not like intense battles. I think one of my favorite things that happened was, and there's this boss battle. I'm about to die because it's a one-on-one battle, and he's about to do his mystic art, and he has to hit me first to do it. And right when he was about to do it, I would dash forward, which I made it so it would automatically go behind him. Mm-hmm. I dash forward, counter him, and then do an awesome combo with all the combo counter that I had, and just beat him that way. And that was the coolest thing because it just felt like a fighting game. I was like,
But you keep going back to it felt like a fighting game.
I love it.
Not everybody wants to play a fighting game in Tales.
Ben understands. It's just you counter someone and then you get that awesome combo.
You can do that in a 3D battle system. I've done it.
It's fine, Maddie.
Okay.
It's fine.
Ben, what do you think about this?
I haven't played Tales of Destiny.
Yeah.
I someday want to make you happy. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but yeah.
So when the English the fan translation patch comes out, I'm gonna send you it. I'm like, here, you could go play it, and here's an extra controller. You could have Brad play with you.
You have the room.
I can't make any promises, but you make it sound like the best experience.
Well, that's the one thing I'm scared about, because he's very good at hyping these games up, and when he did that for Taylor, for Cold Steel...
Well, Taylor's just weird.
I know, but you also have a tendency to really hype up games, and sometimes it just doesn't fall to people's preferences, and then your overhyping makes them feel let down. So I think you should hush. Let them enjoy the
Overhyping is
game.
definitely a danger, though.
Yeah.
You want to do tactical hyping, where it's like little strikes that you hit them right at the right moment.
Exactly.
And that's how you get them excited.
Yeah. That's how Huber does it.
I don't know. Huber is like a constant explosion, so I don't know. But hey, that seems to work for him, I guess. It flies in the face of everything I just said. But thinking more about Tales, and I almost feel like this is a super shitty thing to say, but I'm really kind of happy with the space that Tales is occupying for me personally. At the moment, I really want to get through Berseria before 2017 ends, because I was enjoying it so much. But it's not. I don't quite put it at the same level as other RPGs, and I think that's okay for me. Like I said with that battle system, I spend enough time in between Tales games where that still has a lot of novelty to it for me, and so it's kind of like not B tier. That's maybe like too aggressive of a way of saying it, but I don't necessarily need personally a grand reinvention from it, as long as they make improvements or they're trying enough different interesting things with each entry. I'm okay with that, and I definitely think Berseria was a smart, interesting shift away from Zestiria, which I had a lot of problems with. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know if I would want every single JRPG to be competing for my top spot all the time.
Yeah, that might get tiring.
I would like to see a improvement like from Sky to Cold Steel.
So just I could see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? I mean, because you're coming from a place with a lot more experience than I am.
So I think he's going kind of like
he hasn't played.
I know, but he's played a bit of Cold Steel. He's played a bit of first chapter.
Yeah, but he hasn't played the other chapters.
He hasn't played the other chapters, but I think I'm going from the view of it was a graphical improvement. You have the the Sky version of art style, and then you have the Cold Steel version of art style. You have that, and then the combat system, while the same, is slightly different. It was I would say that Cold Steel is a lot better because of just the more 3D-ness and just the moves were better, like design and stuff like that. So you're just going for a graphical and improvement.
The battle system is
and
very much improved. I'm talking about the social links and that was added and stuff like that. I mean, it still feels like a Trails game, but it's just improved.
Yeah, I was thinking about the social link thing.
That sounds totally plausible.
And that's not in Trails in the Sky, and I was totally fine with that. I wasn't lacking for anything, just because I felt like that world was given so much care and attention, and that they carved out space to let each of those characters shine. And I really think at the end of the day, regardless of how they present it, right? Whether it's us choosing to spend free time with a certain character, or us just, the game shuffling us along and having a quiet moment between two characters, both of those can be equally effective. What really matters is that they're well written, and there's some character development there, and to be honest with you, I don't think that is something Tales has always done a great job of. Not that Tales doesn't have good characters, or not that I don't have my own favorites or anything, but there are a lot of times where I'm playing a Tales game and I feel like it just kind of I understand it in the moment, I appreciate it in the moment, but it doesn't stick with me the same way that it does in other games. And so I think even just buttoning that stuff up, just buttoning up the quality of the writing in those games would do a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Berseria was so good.
Yeah, Berseria was it was a huge step up from Sisteria.
Yeah, I couldn't believe some of the story moments in that game. Specifically one that got tied with music. When that character
Oh yeah.
That was so great.
It's fun listening to Maddie play games because you hear scream at certain
yells.
moments that you know, and you're just like, yep,
Only when
I know
you've
that.
played the game before me, which, let's be honest, it's most games I've played.
Yep.
What was there was like that Persona 5 thing that you like recorded and screamed about?
Yeah. I can't say
We can't say what part.
I was alone in the house. That's the only one. That's the only reason why I was able to scream that loud and not feel self-conscious. Two, that was a moment I've been waiting for 80 hours. So when stuff went down, yeah, I just went. That was the biggest moment of me releasing whatever I felt inside ever. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, 3 whats.
And then
tears.
And then breaking down crying. And then the like hour-long story that happened afterwards. Just it's various of me going, "What? This makes no sense. Oh my god, that really just happened?"
Yeah, it was really funny.
I mean,
Man,
you weren't
I wish
there.
I could have experienced that live. It's the joy of video games encapsulated. That's great.
That's what I think. I think I'd be a really good streamer because I like talking to myself when I play games. So just like I'll just say random crap and be like, "I totally called that," or "Don't you do it,"
Yep.
you know, stuff like that.
It's kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I like playing games alone.
I'm just thinking about when you beat
Berseria? Yeah.
That was intense.
I had to go to work.
I go to
an hour after.
I come home from work and my sister's just crying, like bawling, and I'm like, okay, and I go into my room and then she just walks into my room like, Nick, why?
No. I wasn't crying. I was like past the point of tears. I was like just that broken kind of wreck.
But you
emotionally.
start bawling again.
Inside, yeah, because you start playing the music again, Nick. So I was like, Nick, why? And he's like, yeah, you know what happens. Plays the song that like hits me the hardest, and I just start crying right in front of him. Yeah. And then I had to go work in a restaurant right after and go up to people and say, "Hi, welcome to this place. Can I get you something to drink, or would you like an appetizer?" Well, just silent tears are streaming down my face.
I can't tell if this was a good experience for you or just like a horribly scarring one.
It was so okay. So I was crying because the end, but also because it was so good. It was tears of, oh my god, that was amazing.
Wow. Okay. Well, man, now I feel like retroactively kind of bad for saying that stuff about the writing of Tales. Maybe Berseria will completely change my mind. I don't know.
I mean,
it does have the typical Tales writing sometimes, but during the good story moments, it does have its charm.
the ending.
The ending, yeah.
And he's played Tales of Zestiria. He's finished. You finished it, right?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah,
Right.
he finished Zestiria. The ending.
But it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no more.
No more.
I think you've hyped Ben to play Berseria
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry.
Cold Steel
Okay,
and Sky.
that was me personally. Okay, I'm not trying to like overhype you. I just
No.
And
You're not. You're just you loved it so much that you were a wreck.
yeah.
That's great.
It was pretty fantastic. Also, it was a game with a solid female protagonist.
I love how.
Like,
I mean,
she had her flaws and stuff, but it was like a female protagonist.
yeah, absolutely. And that's something like that was one of my biggest takeaways from Trails in the Sky. Like Estelle, I think you could make an argument where she is easily one of the best female characters.
Oh yeah.
In JRPGs, like she's just incredibly well done,
And she's always true to her character. She's she's really well written. She has her arcs. It's really good.
Yeah.
I just find it funny that Manny was like, yeah, I connect to
I
connect to Velvet.
To how
like,
she
yeah,
feels,
so
but,
you're
like, some of the
you're a
stuff she
demon?
does-
Is that
I'm
what
a
you're saying?
demon. Yeah. Sorry, Nick, for having feelings for family members.
It was funny. I thought it was funny, God.
Yeah, you like my pain a lot of the time.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Tales of games. They have their flaws, but Berseria is going in the right direction, I feel.
Have you guys played the mobile game?
Which one?
Was it Tales of Raise?
Yeah, Tales of Raise. That's what it is.
No, but I've seen so much hype for it on Twitter. I'm considering.
I played Tales of Link, but that's nothing. Yeah, I've seen a really, really bad advertisement on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like Dragon Ball Z Connect bad.
So I just started it. Keep that in mind.
All right.
But I don't have any desire to play any more of it because it's trying to take the Tales battle system and map it on a touchscreen. And maybe I just need more time with it to get used to it. But boy, right up front, I was like, this feels awful.
Yeah.
So
It's when you get those like controllers you could actually plug into your phone, and suddenly you can start playing console games on your phone. I'm sure it's getting there.
I just don't like using mobile games.
Yeah,
it feels
mobile
compromised.
Yeah, mobile games. Stick with console.
When I can, I've been squeezing in like tiny bursts of Fate Go, and that's been pretty fun. If you guys are looking for a JRPG / visual novel thing on your phone, I've been having a good time with that.
I've installed something called Dragon Ball Z Dokkan.
Oh no.
I downloaded that. I don't think I ever actually really played it though.
It's like Tales of Link,
But with
but
Dragon
with Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh,
And I was
boy.
like, yes.
Oh no.
I don't know what Tales of Link is either.
It's you collect Tales of characters, and there's like rare ones and super rare ones and legendary ones, and it's all across every Tales game, and it's like collect them all, and then if the battle system is like a connect all the dots. I don't even know how to explain it.
That
I watched you play.
Doesn't
It was kind
sound
of
great.
weird.
It's just like it's this very dopamine addicting kind of stuff.
oh
but-
boy.
But there's
Oh, boy.
it's all about the dopamine and collecting all the Tales characters that you want.
Yeah, if I got into it, that would all be all I cared about. Would be like, I gotta collect
like,
my favorite characters.
it's like,
Gotta collect my favorite characters.
I gotta get sexy Santa Velvet. I gotta get it.
Oh my god, I can't believe
That's
some people-
basically. Well, I guess that's basically what Fire Emblem Heroes has become for me now. Like I'm not.
collect the
I
sexiest
just-
waifu. Do it.
Yeah, I'm just basically like getting my orbs, and then when I have enough orbs, I'm summoning because I just haven't been putting time into leveling people or anything like that. But
Yeah.
Collect them game. Yes, the best.
I got really addicted to Tales of Link, and then I stopped.
Yeah, you did.
Because I was like, okay, I got super sexy Mila. I got
I got there
Beach
when you got
Mila.
that. You showed her to me.
And I was like, okay. I got Maid Mila as well. It was like an event going on for Mila, and I got all of them somehow.
Okay,
It was just random.
sure.
Yeah, I was doing the event. And I'm like, okay, I got all the Milas. I'm done. No
good
Magi.
job.
No, and exactly. I was like, they just handed this to me. I didn't really do anything.
All right, he collected all the
I
Milas.
got all the Milas.
Wow.
Yep. You know,
I,
Namco did. Oh, this is sad. They released. I don't know if you remember this, but they released Tales of Fantasia English, and it was like the PS1 version on mobile.
on mobile.
Yeah. They did it free to play, right?
Yeah, it was free to play, but you had to like do like microtransactions and stuff or something like that. It was really bad, and they took it down. But it was so sad because it's the only version of
In
Tales
English?
of Fantasia in English.
Wait, I thought Tales of Fantasia came out on GBA.
It did, but it's an awful port.
Oh, is it?
It's a really
Okay.
bad port.
Okay.
And
Damn.
Yeah, and yeah, but the PS1 port, or I guess a remake, was really good, and that was what the mobile one was.
Mhm.
And we didn't get it.
Oh, bummer.
I mean, I've played it, not with emulators. Yeah,
Good job, Nick.
that's the only Tales game I don't own. Oh, I don't really own. I need to get that one, so I can play it English legally.
legally play it.
So your official checklist is get PS1 Tales of Fantasia and have all of the rest of us play and love Tales of Destiny.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
Tales of Destiny is such a good game. I mean, what was your first first JRPG that you played as a kid? Do you remember?
My first JRPG that I played as a kid,
Mhm.
it was either Pokemon or Final Fantasy VII, which is a super boring answer, but it's the truth.
I mean, that's a lot of people's.
Yeah. It's one of those two.
And do you have very fond memories of that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it helps that I genuinely think those are both excellent games, but yeah. I mean, there are very few games I can say this about, but Pokemon, like those original games, like those were my life for multiple years. Like, it was all I did every day. It was great.
Pokemon.
Yeah. So my Final Fantasy VII was Tales of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I love that game so much. I had my friends were there. They loved it as well, and we just played that all the time whenever we went to each other's house. Got all the secrets. We had the PSM with the strategy guide and everything in it, and it was awesome. And they remade it. So imagine you getting your Final Fantasy VII remake already.
Well, let's not count things before they hatch here, because we don't have that Final Fantasy VII remake.
But it was announced.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what I felt when that game came out. And we never got it, sadly. But it came out, and holy crap! I like, even just from like not a Tales of Destiny perspective, just from a Tales of game, I am so sad we didn't get this in English, because it's so well made, and it has a lot of goodies and a lot of extras that Tales don't really do anymore, that I wish I could do, but it's in Japanese, so I can't really read it. But it was just, I wish Tales would do that again. Just all the extra goodies, added all that in, the super special dungeons, the fight for final bosses at once, kind of that stuff.
Oh, like the Graces, like arena.
Yeah, but you could do it like yourself, and you could there's items that you could get that you could turn certain characters into another character, so you could have a party of the same character.
Okay, that's pretty random, but all right.
Isn't that? But it's just imagine having like being able to have.
You better say the right character right now.
4 Velvets in one battle system, in one battle.
No.
It's just random, right? Or a bunch of Sorays.
No.
Yeah.
Both those characters have their duos. It's Velvet and Laphicet, or Soray and Mikleo.
Man, you just ruin everything.
I know.
Okay.
Have them both together, fighting.
Just have 4 Lloyds.
Is that the guy from Tales of Symphonia?
Yeah, it was for Ben.
I like Tales of Symphonia, but that did nothing for me.
Dang it! I'm trying to... Kratos? I don't know what it's a good... Just, yeah, you could make your own party.
4 Roses.
4
There
Roses.
we go.
There you go.
That-
4
that's
Roses.
closer.
Yeah.
There you go. There's stuff like that. You could customize your stuff.
That's pretty cool.
4 Futabas.
4
Yeah, 4
Futabas. Oh man, I would love to see that day. Just Futabas, just all on her her little console.
Hacking.
Yep,
Just
meta.
and
hacking.
they're all just like saying like different smarmy one-liners. Yeah,
Yes.
be great.
You wouldn't even fight a battle. They'll just hack it
Just-
out
they're
of
just
existence.
hacking constantly. Party buffs online, and then just all of them just buff each other with different buffs.
Yep, you're invincible basically.
One screams no because they're about to die, then the other screams no because they're about to die the next turn, and then the other one screams no. I use that ability a lot.
All right, so it's been 2 hours.
Great talk.
Lots of awesome talks today. Thank you again, Ben, for joining us. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully have you on whenever you're free.
Whenever 2017 ends.
Whenever
Yeah.
whenever 2017 ends.
I want to be on after I've played Tales of Destiny. I feel like that needs to happen.
Wait, have you played the first one?
No.
You should try that one. That one it's the second Tales of game ever made. I want you to see what you think about it.
I thought we were...
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's easier to get than getting the Tales of Destiny remake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
One day, like, just I want to hear your voice when I'm like, yeah, I've played Tales of Destiny.
Awesome. I mean, luckily it's like a PS1 game, so it's only like 40 hours long. But
Only 40 hours. No big deal.
Only 40 hours.
we all play JRPGs here. We know that's just like that's the short version.
I don't know. Short JRPGs are 20 hours to me.
Yeah, 25, I would say.
Yeah. Memories
20,
of Celceta, short.
You're
You know.
right.
40 is like kind of 40 to 60 is like the average, and then you get to the 80 to 100, and you're like, oh god, Persona 5 status.
Yep.
So I'm Googling Amazon prices for Tales of Destiny.
It's going to be like $100 and $200.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy.
You should do what Sean was gonna do for you. You should just ship him your Tales of Destiny.
I should ship him Taylor's Tales of Destiny because his is in better condition.
Okay.
That's too precious of an item, though.
And that's exactly what Nick said to Sean. Sean really wanted us to play Jade Cocoon too, and he's like, here, I'll just ship you mine.
That was the funniest thing. I'm going to end this podcast right now, and then I'll tell you the story after we end the podcast.
Okay.
But thank you guys for listening. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on iTunes, please give us a review. It helps us out greatly. This is Giant Sword Podcast, and we are out.
Bye.